the pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the number one team. Let the world know what's your fantasy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's Your Fantasy? All right. It's your boy Breezie and the one and only Peachy. We are in the building, and we're going to talk fantasy football, recap week 7, look forward to week 8. We got injuries to discuss. We got waiver wire targets. We want to know from you guys, how did you guys do week 7? Feel free to share some of your results in the show. We will be here for about 45 minutes to an hour max. You got it. Shout out to Jax. I see you out there. 49ers, Chanel's in the building. Terrence, Christy Marie, Daniel, Barry Sports Highlights is in the building. Peachy, what's going on? Wagwan, how you doing? What's crack-a-lacking over there in the fantasy world?
Doing good. Just working on fantasy basketball. That's what I was trying to work on. But it's definitely been a crazy fantasy football week. It's about to get more crazy. There's quite a few injuries that are very important that we have to keep an eye out for, especially on the Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, let's start with injuries. Let's not even waste time. Let's get to some injuries because there was some breaking news for the San Francisco 49ers that their starting quarterback, or our starting quarterback, Brock Purdy, is now in the concussion protocol. And, you know, he's going through the protocol. So he has to go past all 5 steps of the test for the protocol. So what does this mean for fantasy football owners out there? Because I know a lot of people, they may have Brock Purdy. And on top of that, they have Brandon Ayuk. They have George Kittle. So how will Brock Purdy's injury possibly affect people's fantasy lineups?
Well, in the first place, if he doesn't play, then it'll definitely affect it, and they'll have to find another quarterback. Probably would be a good idea for you guys, if you only have one quarterback, to go on the waiver wire and find one. Because I have an eerie feeling that he's not playing, and that it's going to be Sam Darnold. Would I pick up Sam Darnold? If you can find another quarterback that might be out there, there is bye weeks to also consider as well. But if you can find another one, I would try to find somebody. I probably wouldn't pick up Sam Darnold.
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I mean, if it depends on who your other quarterback. If you have a quarterback on a bye week, do you pick up Sam Darnold because you trust him in this offense? Is there another quarterback out there? There's probably just Sam Howell, maybe. Trying to think of what quarterbacks may be available, depending on 10-team leagues, 12-team leagues, 14-team leagues. So depending on which quarterbacks are available, that would be interesting. So, you know, maybe people will let us know who they have, if they did have Brock, because some people go one quarterback, Peachy, and then they play the waiver wire during that bye week. Some people draft 2 quarterbacks. Some people, you know what I'm saying? And if you're in a super flex, good golly O'Malley, which I am, and I think Brock Purdy is one of my I think he's one of my quarterbacks. I think in my super flex. I could be wrong. My super flex, I think I have Ritter, and I had Howell, and then I forgot who my main quarterback is. But anyway, it's just interesting, right? Now, how does this affect everybody else? Will you start Ayuk? Will you start George Kittle? Are those starts? Christian McCaffrey, can Sam throw him screen passes and things like that? I'm just curious to know, will you still start those key pieces, or are you benching your 49er players this week in a crazy game that they must win?
I don't really know, because I feel like that the offense alters a bit with Sam Darnold out there. So I don't really know. The good news is I bet you anything that since Mason, I know played a lot with him in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
When he practiced out there with them, they may have a better rapport with each other. So I would say that we're going to see a lot of Mason. Of course, you're always going to put McCaffrey. We're going to need him more than ever now. So definitely start McCaffrey. Kittle, I'm not exactly sure about that one, but I'm not exactly sure about Kittle any week. So it's fine. But I would say that
This would be a good. This would have
CMC.
been a good week though for Kittle because
Yes.
they're you can attack. They give up the most touchdowns to tight, the fourth most touchdowns.
Exactly.
To tight ends.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. But so I guess you probably just still go with your 49er players that you would normally go with because it just depends on. All I know is I see McCaffrey having a day out there or trying to have a day.
All right.
Yeah, I do. Some of the other injuries that people need to keep an eye on, these are huge fantasy players on people's teams, surprisingly. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, what's his injury? Hand?
Knee.
What is knee?
Mm-hmm. Chris Godwin. Neck.
Chris Godwin got hurt too?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So keep an eye on those. Other important ones, Dawson Knox.
Tight end Buffalo Bills.
Yes, his wrist. He's actually ruled out for Thursday because they play Thursday.
Oh, so they got the short game.
He's out.
Thank you.
Yes. Damian Harris, as we know, was put on IR. So that's something to keep an eye on. Kyron Williams was put on IR. Let's see what we got through here. I'm scrolling here real quick. We have Aaron Jones did not participate today. That he's a little bit sore off of that, so they're hoping to ramp him up. So it looks like Aaron will be playing this week. A good welcome back to some of you who have him on your bench. Let's see. We go here. Christian Watson is practicing today, so he's good to go. Bijan Robinson is fine now. He had an illness. He had an illness. The Falcons are actually probably going to be in trouble because he should not have been active. He should have been inactive in the first place because the team was made aware before game time of how he was feeling. And they didn't, I guess they felt like they didn't want to alert the other team who they were playing, their opponent. So the league is looking into that. So that's pretty interesting. It looks like that Will, is it Will Levis? I can't remember his last name, but whichever is the other quarterback that's for the Titans, he's starting.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill is not playing. The Titans made an announcement that they were going with Will.
Wow. So Will, why am I saying Levitz now?
I know, that's what I'm trying to remember, like what his name is, but
that's interesting. So no Malik Willis.
Right. No Malik Willis. He beat him out, I guess. Or that's just the decision that they made. Right. Exactly.
Damn.
Alvin Kamara did not practice due to an illness. So depending on that illness, that could be something to keep an eye on as well. In the Colts. Okay, so this explains a lot. So Zach Moss, elbow and heel, didn't practice.
Good. Because now Jonathan Taylor can get all the touches.
I was already happy that he got one. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so I did say it right. Thanks, Jax. And that was good. And Taylor was like, oh, you guys saw that I was not going to get back in the end zone. And it's like, well, we need more of that because we still need more than that from him. So then Anthony Richardson, of course, is out for the season. I'm just going down through here. Okay, so for the Miami, Raheem Mostert, an undisclosed injury. Here we go with this again.
It begins.
Didn't participate in the media access portion of practice. So they're not sure what they're going to do with him because Tyreek Hill also did not practice. So keep an eye on that because River Craycraft is making his way back on that.
Wow.
And Miami is trying out running backs, which leads me to believe that Mostert is probably not going to play this week.
Salvin Ahmed.
Right.
Jeff Wilson.
And then there's
played.
one, I'm sorry. And then they had another running back, Chris Brooks, that was placed on IR. So it's not him. So, yeah, I think it's Jeff Wilson and Ahmed if Mostert doesn't play. I don't know if they have another one, but I know that they're looking at running backs. That's why I think so. Okay, so it looks like that Randall Cobb is playing this week. Darren Waller, it looks like that he's going to be okay, even though he has a hamstring, but the Giants expect him to play. Saquon, of course, which is coming back off injury, it's just going to be slow goes it. Daniel Jones did practice today. Look, I have my theories about this Daniel Jones thing. Because of the great job that Tyrod Taylor did, and he was able to remind the Giants that they do have a lot of good weapons on their team. They said that they were going to take it slow with Daniel Jones coming back.
I mean, they're paying him a lot of money to be taking it slow.
Exactly, but
so ain't no buts. That's a lot of money.
It said as of today that he's not been cleared for contact yet. And his workload will not increase at this point. So it leads me to believe that I think it's going to be another week at Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Did they pay him too quick? Probably. But it is what it is. Trevor Lawrence was limited again today with his knee. That's something that they're saying to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Because they think that might be affecting him the way he's not playing.
What's the update on Justin Fields?
Yeah, I'm almost there. Actually, it's going down there because these are not fantasy people. So we go down here. Deshaun Watson is not playing this week also. And it might be a good idea if Watson is your only quarterback that you have, you may want to go look for another one because I have a feeling that the Browns are about to do something because it's just the Browns.
You should have gotten rid of Watson.
Right. You should have already gotten rid of
ago.
him.
I got rid of him 5 weeks ago. Week 8.
The doctors want him to concentrate on rehabbing his shoulder.
Good.
And getting him ready for, whatever.
They're paying him a lot of money too. Oh well, not our problem. Idiots.
Right. I'm still looking through here. Okay, so I'm just going down through here, trying to see what we got here. Baltimore, everything looks fine in there. I was trying to think of anything. Can't see. Zach Ertz was placed on IR.
Really?
Due to a strained quadriceps.
That's 4 weeks.
Yep.
I thought he was going to be traded, actually, but now you're not going to be able to trade him now.
Right. Deebo Samuel was out today, but he's going to be fine.
I mean,
according to what they're saying,
he's already slated to not play this week, so he was already deemed to not play. For the next
don't drop
weeks.
Deebo, just bench him.
Yeah, I wouldn't drop any.
Right, right. Justin Fields didn't practice Wednesday, and he is very doubtful. So I don't think we're going to see Fields this week again. They also like their quarterback the other quarterback that they have.
Badgett,
also,
Tyson Badgett.
Yes. The good news is that Roschon Johnson, who went through concussion protocol, was a full practice participant today. So that's
here we go. Let me have this conversation, even if it's to myself, because Roschon Johnson has been in concussion protocol for 3 weeks.
Yep.
And Brock Purdy's just entered today.
Mm-hmm.
I guess everybody's different, I feel like the concussion protocol, believe it or not, is just a way to give coaches time.
Right. Not just time. But it all depends on who you put in the concussion protocol or for that matter, any injury. Because here we go. So they were saying before the Raiders' last game that Jimmy Garoppolo might miss 2 to 3 more weeks. But because of the way that the Raiders looked in that game with their quarterback, the Jimmy Garoppolo is now questionable and trying to play in the game.
This is gonna be crazy. I'm just saying, like it's a way to manipulate.
It is absolutely.
Things.
I agree with that 100%, Breezie. It's like it's not just a concussion. Like it's. I believe it's the hamstring. I believe it's an illness. I believe it's anything that a team can find. Just like you said, it's a way to just bide time. I really believe that sometimes because you have this player that miraculously, is able to come back after whenever the team sucks, and it looks really bad without them out there. And then all of a sudden, now you see they're questionable, and they're expected to try to go, or all this stuff. And it's just a way that they can get away with, whatever. Unless you're the Falcons, and they may be in some serious trouble with the situation with Bijan. It's not Bijan's fault. It's the coach was overheard saying some things that he shouldn't have been overheard saying. So they should have just kept their mouth closed, but he doesn't realize that it's 2023 and technology is a mug. And there's always somebody who has a camera on you with a lip reader that can read what you're saying. But he was asked, though, which makes it even worse. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. Arthur Smith's got to be smarter than that. Anyway, that's your injuries for fantasy.
Significant injuries. You gotta just pay attention. It sucks when players are good to go and then they get re-injured right on the first play, and then they go to fantasy week.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing, right? Because I was saying to myself, everybody's playing this week. There are no buys this week in football.
No buys this week. Yep.
So injured or not, you're going to have to strap up and play. And it's going to be an interesting week. All the teams are playing starting Thursday night. Get your Thursday night football game. What do something that's cool. I kind of want to do like the start, the sit, the type thing. Let's go through every team and let's go through who you're starting. Let's go Thursday night football. We got the Bucks at the Bills. All right. Bills are at home. They're coming off of a loss on the road to New England. This is going to be interesting. The Bucks lost as well. Didn't look as good. You just mentioned the key injury to two players. They don't run the ball well. Are you starting anyone from the Bucks?
No.
Mike Evans is hard to not put in a lineup.
That is the only one. I take that back. Mike Evans. You have to just, he just gets the ball no matter who's out there. He's at least going to give you enough to make his presence known out there. So, yep.
Now, going to the Bills side, Allen was terrible.
He was bad against the Patriots, yeah.
Which affected Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
But who on the Bills are you starting?
Dawson Knox.
You're starting Dawson Knox?
I meant not
Kincaid?
Yeah. Dalton Kincaid. Yeah.
So that's the only player you're going to start from this Bills team?
No. I mean, you got Allen. You got the obvious ones with Allen. Yeah. You're just going to go with the regulars on here. Adding Dalton Kincaid, who has not looked that good, but that's because Dawson Knox was out there. Now that Dawson Knox is, in the position he's in, Kincaid is gonna be really good.
Look, I like the Bills. I definitely like their defense over the Bucs offense.
Definitely the Bills defense. Yeah,
this may be a good defense. Let's go to Rams Cowboys.
Yep.
Which give me your starters for the Rams. It's crazy because I don't want the Rams to win, but I don't want the Cowboys to win. So but I gotta pick one.
But I think that the threat to the 49ers in the NFC West is Seattle right now. And so I actually am rooting against Dallas in this game. I actually already did my picks and stuff, and I picked the Rams to win this game because with what Jerry Jones is saying and all this, man, I'm just so annoyed with them. I mean, if I got to pick the lesser of two evils, I'm actually hoping that the Rams, right, Christy, for the Rams. Dallas has just been running their mouth too much. It's like, you can make fun of what the 49ers are going through all you want, but you can't beat us. So that doesn't matter. And again, we didn't just beat you. We whooped you. So it's not, I mean, until you know what I'm saying? Until you're able to beat us, shut up.
So who you starting from the Cowboys?
From Dallas?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm going with Lamb. Even Dak.
I like the Rams DBs. They're physical. I wonder if they affect the passing game, the receivers, because to me Lamb's a punk. So I'm wondering if they would affect him in that way. But I'm with
It's
you.
possible.
I would start Lamb.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I, I'm just not sold on the running back. I just
Oh, no,
I
me
thought
either.
Pollard
Yeah.
was better, and maybe coming back. I mean, he is coming off of that crazy injury, and I thought it was
Right.
really fast
Yeah.
from the ACL tear.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. But
Ferguson,
that's all
maybe.
about right there.
If
They
you
don't
have the
seem to get Ferguson, like, for some reason.
They did against the Niners. That was the
Yeah.
only option.
Right. That's because everybody else was covered. So they had to. But I mean, yeah, Ferguson, he's getting there. And with the Rams, like the way that their defense plays, especially their DBs, like you said, Ferguson might be the only one that Ferguson might be his only hope.
I like the Rams I like the Rams pieces though. Like,
yeah,
Nakua,
Puka
Cooper Cup. Can
and
Cooper Cup
Kupp.
rebound from last week?
But it was, which was really crazy because the opposite of what I thought was going to happen, because I will admit, I thought that when Cooper Cup came back, that he was going to be the one that was going to get all of the targets and in the yards and everything, but it still went to Puka. Puka still had like a huge game.
That's because he's a mismatch, but
Right.
But what you call it? Cooper Cup only had one bad game since he's been back.
Puka's
that was
big.
Last week.
Like, it's just.
Other than that, Puka gets the touchdown. I mean, Cup gets the touchdown.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
If it's PPR league,
right.
You go with Puka because he's gonna, if he gets 10
Definitely
catches
Puka,
plus
right.
100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's regular league, standard league, you're gonna want to go with Cup because he's gonna score.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
Yeah, Puka's been fire. He's a pass catcher for sure, but he can't get in the end zone. They only got one touchdown this year.
Right. I think Tutu Atwell, I think he may be like kicked back to the side. He's not I don't know.
I think he's just
I don't know about that.
What is he, like? More like a utility piece now? Like,
yeah, it's kind of like that.
He's kind of like he's the flex on the team, literally.
Yeah.
He's not the one, he's not the two, he's the flex.
Right. I like that.
If you have a defense that can tame the 1 and 2 from the Rams,
yes,
Atwell's gonna cook. He's a mismatch. You line him up in the slot. Let's go Packers. Because the Vikings, I mean, Jordan Addison had a career game. Yo, it's crazy how he has one less touchdown than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek has 7. He has 6.
Yep.
This kid is a starter.
Oh yeah.
They're playing the Packers. Packers have a better secondary than the 49ers. Do you like Addison versus that secondary?
See, kind of.
Yeah. And it's a divisional game.
Right. And we know how division games are. They can be really weird. And I know that Jordan Love and the Pack have had it kind of rough, but I tell you what, I bet you against this Vikes game, they're going to look a lot better. A whole lot better.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Falcons, Titans. This is going to be the most boring game.
Yes, because the Titans are having a fire sale. So they are moving people. By the time the game hits, they ain't no telling who's going to be on the Titans. They already moved Bayard. They're trying to move Henry.
Do you start there? If Henry's here, do you start him in fantasy this week? I'm curious to know. I mean, they still got Hopkins. But
do
now
have
you talk about
D-Hop.
Levis is going to be the quarterback. Good God.
Yes. So it's going to be, wow.
But do you start? Shoot. Do you start him anyway? Not Hopkins, but the King, Henry, because I don't know. Like he's going to be their main target, and I feel like the Falcons are going to do what they need to do defensively to take him away.
Yeah, because the Falcons don't have a bad defense.
No,
like they literally have some really, really good pieces on that defense.
Good point.
I wouldn't.
Dang, that's
On the
tough.
Falcons side, it looks like Bijan's fine, so I would definitely start Bijan.
Yeah, he's an interesting start for me, Peach, because it's like if the Falcons choose to not, if the Falcons fall behind, he won't get utilized,
That's a good point.
and
Yeah.
then he's not scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
His 0 touchdowns.
It's really crazy because, and I know, it's just preseason. Everybody's saying that, but he looked like he was just going to light it
He was
up in
gonna
the end
cook.
zone.
He was gonna cook,
Really
cut it.
did.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I
But
agree.
not, yeah,
I agree.
that's what he looked like. That he was going to. Ritter seems to, whenever he's not throwing picks all over the place, seems to have a better chemistry with London.
Oh, because I was gonna say
Since Bayard is gone from the
say
Titans.
his chemistry is starting to rise with Kyle Pitts.
It is, both of them, yeah.
Pitts
Yep,
is rising from the
definitely.
pits.
Yes, yeah, he is.
I think
He sure is.
I think you start those guys against this defense.
Mhm.
Period.
Yes.
So if you have those two players, I mean, Bijan, and could this be a game we see some Cordero Patterson? I don't know. He's probably still chilling out there on the waivers, but those 3 players that Peachy mentioned.
We'll see, because probably by the time the trade deadline hits, Cordell won't be here. So I don't know how the Falcons are. They may showcase him, or they can do whatever. But I think Cordell's going to be one that's going to be traded here soon.
All right, let's go Saints Colts. Week 8. It's gonna be a weird game.
It is.
The only player I would start from the Saints, I mean, you got Chris Olave returning from jail. You
Right?
You got Alvin Kamara. The only person I feel comfortable starting is Alvin Kamara. But if you told me he was injured at the beginning of the show, I'm like, oh man. And Derek Carr doesn't look great.
I actually if anyone has Jamal Williams on their bench, I would actually start him.
But he had like 0.6 points last week.
I know what he had, but the Saints are another weird one. Actually, picking this game was weird too, because it's just I'm still conflicted on who I think is going to win this game. But I would say that.
I mean, the Colts are coming off of a game where they clearly won, but the refs cheated.
Right. Also on the Colts, what is it? Josh Downs? Is that his name?
He's on all my benches, and I just don't start him.
On 4 of my benches, and I did not even have him in the starting thing, and he blew it up last week
might.
in a nice game.
Depending on what wide receivers you have in your lineup.
Exactly.
You might want to put him in the flex.
Yeah, you might want to stick him in that spot.
You might want to stick him in the flex. All right, here we go.
Apparently, that's a favorite of Minshew. So
it's been a favorite of all the quarterbacks that's been playing.
That's true.
If Michael Pittman didn't get the big catch last week,
right,
his production would have been pretty low. Patriots at the Dolphins. I feel like they're getting all their divisional games out the way so early.
Yep.
You just mentioned a slew of injuries for the Dolphins. The Patriots are coming off of a high and beating the Buffalo Bills. It seems their defense is getting back intact.
Yep.
But who in the hell are you starting on this Patriots offense? I'm curious to see.
I mean, I guess Stevenson.
Okay. He's always a star. He's a running back one. Yeah.
Stevenson. I mean, as far as their receiver, it's so.
Don't do it.
I don't think the Patriots even like their own receivers. Like, I'm serious. Like, I just don't think they do.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But this will be the week where they take advantage of the Dolphins because we're telling you not to do it.
Right.
Dolphins, you got automatically start Tyreek Hill. I don't care if he doesn't practice until the game time.
Yeah, he'll.
You talked about Mostert being injured. Do you really think this might be the end of Mostert, the Mosterati? Is he turning back into a pumpkin wheel wagon? Like it just seems like every year.
It seems to be starting a little bit, yeah.
His body just starts to wear down.
Yeah, no.
But if you have him, if any plays, do you start him against this Patriots defense? Because the Patriots defense is getting, I know they got 2 wins, but they're getting their secondary back, which is
Yeah, they're
helping.
starting to heal on their defensive side, and you could tell
Right.
they're definitely healing. I mean, I don't know what's about Mostert. I think that what it is because Achan got hurt. Mostert had to do more than they expected him to have to do.
Could
And
be.
that's what happens when he's like your only, like he's your main running back option. That's what happens. See, he was spelled with Achan. So he didn't have just a couple of bursts through the game and that's it. Now all that pressure is on him to, like do all this running and all this stuff a lot. And that's what I feel is probably breaking him down because he just wasn't prepared. His body just wasn't prepared to do all that because Achan was doing that.
Could be. I don't know. Good luck if you got Mostert.
Right.
Pay attention to the injury report.
Yes.
And that affects Tua, because you're forcing him to be a passer.
Yes.
If they can't get the run game going,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be an interesting game. They're coming off of a loss too, right? Didn't the Dolphins lose to the Ravens? No, who did the Dolphins lose to?
Miami lost to Philly
Philly.
on Sunday Night Football.
Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bad loss too.
Yeah, because the refs cheated again.
Of course.
Let's go to New York. Jets, Giants. You pick who you would start from the Jets. I'll pick who I'll start from the Giants.
Okay, so from the Jets, I would start Wilson, of course.
Garrett
Wilson. Apparently Dalvin Cook is not it. So
He's done.
Breece Hall, I would start Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson.
He's done.
Yeah.
He's done. I would also start the Jets defense against this Giants offense.
Yes, absolutely.
For the Giants, PG, it's Barkley. I wouldn't touch any of their receivers. And Waller had a good game, and I think it's possibly because of Tyrod Taylor being the quarterback. If Taylor gets the green light and Waller is healthy, I would go with Waller.
Yes.
If you have him on your team, you don't want to bench him. But the Jets got a pretty dang good defense. So
I don't see any. I was trying to find some information to see if Sauce and those guys were back.
I'm sure they would be back, and even if not,
because
they
weren't,
because
defense. They weren't. Yeah, because Sunday Night Football, they didn't. So.
All right. Hopefully, I'm sure they're good to go.
Gotcha.
At home, even though they're the away team playing at home. Interesting.
Right.
All right. Jags, Steelers. Jags got a 4-game winning streak, and they're headed to Pittsburgh. Travis Etienne is my must start from this team. He has found a way to figure out how to play football again. Anybody else you starting? I feel like I got you get the Steelers, I'll do the Jags. All right, here we go. Etienne must start. Christian Kirk is a must start. He's the most effective wide receiver they have weekend. He's consistently effective. Calvin Ridley, put the question mark on him, but you want to start him. But it all depends on how healthy Trevor Lawrence is. I'm just never sold on Trevor Lawrence.
Right. And we don't even know, you just had to pay attention to that on Lawrence to see what's going on, because apparently he's had this problems going on.
So wait, can I just put a pause right here, because I'm watching the game, right? And I know everybody is saying, "Oh, he was concussed after that hit," which, he got hit in the chin, and it snapped the head back. So yeah, he probably saw some stars. He threw the first interception, okay, but he looks totally fine,
right,
in this game, and no one knew he was concussed,
right.
I just want to kill the narrative.
Yeah.
That's why he threw these balls.
But it's like a built-in excuse.
Nah, that's not the show for that. I'm sorry. I just happened to
Yeah,
be watching the game.
but still, okay. So here's an update on Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, actually, which are the All-Pro cornerbacks for the Jets. You
Dang,
know,
Reed's all pro too?
they were literally coming off of a bye. And
Yeah.
they thought they'd be ready to go. No, actually, they have not passed through the final stages of concussion protocol
Oh, they
yet.
both had concussions. Wait a
Right.
minute. More concussion.
You're
What's
right.
taking so long? Help me have some type of hope and faith Brock clears his concussion protocol if them two dudes been on concussion
That's
protocol.
what I'm saying. He's been, which is why I said I really do not expect Brock to play
He
against the
won't
Bengals.
be able to get through the
Just
5
don't.
stages even until Sunday, which means he would have to be cleared on Saturday in order to play on Sunday.
Yeah, because they literally suffered the concussions, like Breezie said, like weeks ago. They already had a bye week. They thought they'd be good to go. They still have not passed it. So
I'm just preparing for Sam Darnold. So guys, if you have him on
I'm
the waiver,
completely preparing.
just go ahead and
for
grab a Sam Darnold. I tell you, he's better than some of these other quarterbacks. And at the end of the day, he's working with an arsenal.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in. Like Darnold, can he make the checkdowns? Will he get the ball down the field? So I don't know, man. I might just Alberto. We see your question. He says, "Do I start London over Adams and B.A. or Allen?" I don't know if I'm starting Brandon Ayuk. He's not getting.
I don't know about that either. Yeah,
100 yards and the touchdowns.
I wouldn't.
I don't know about Adams either. Is that Keenan Allen? I'm starting him every week.
Every week. Every single week, you need Keenan Allen in your lineup.
I don't know what Keenan Allen is on, but he's on catching the ball and getting yards.
I know that Herbert might not be playing his best. He's also still injured. But he's fighting through it. Yeah, with his hand. He's still got that glove and stuff and still trying to protect that glove out there. And I think he's so more worried about that getting hit that he's not focusing on, whatever. That's what I've seen on Charger pages is that they feel like that's his problem, is that he's so concerned about, his hand that he, is not focusing like he needs to be on whatever. But Keenan Allen still, whenever Herbert gets the ball out of his hands, Keenan Allen's a sure bet. He is amazing and should always be in your starting lineup.
I love it. Mac Dogwood, what's going on? You're a new name here. I've never seen it. But thank you for tuning in. He says, hello. I need to fill my running back 1, running back 2, so we just going to fill in your whole lineup. I got you. My options are Mixon, Gibbs, Tank, and Foreman. Let me just go through, just a tip for your flex. Do you have to put a running back in your flex? I'm just curious to know if that's what you want to do. I would love to know which receivers you have for your flex. And I'm going to tell you right now, in the flex spot, if you have, it would be if you have any players from the Bears, the Chargers, the Raiders, or the Lions, that's who you want to go on the flex. So Gibbs would be my flex. If you don't have a receiver you want to put there. You always want to put that later spot start in the flex. And you have 2 players. You have Foreman on Sunday night, and you have Gibbs on Monday night. Now, let me ask you this, Mac Dagwood. You know what, Peachy? I don't think Mixon will have a good week this week. I don't think the 49ers defense is going to allow it. So I would kind of...
Oh, Lord, no. Yeah, do not start a running back against the 49ers this week.
But he has to start too. He did give us a wide receiver. I'm not sure of Tank Dell's injury status.
Let me check that out because I didn't see anything on the Texans that stood out. But I'll look right now.
And then since you said that Roschon Johnson was coming back, now I'm asking myself, does Foreman get put to the back burner because of Roschon Johnson, the rookie, which I don't think he should because...
No, I just actually looked that up at the same time to check and see. It looks like that the Bears are comfortable with Foreman being running back 1. So they like his production. So I would say, especially like with this other quarterback that's taking Fields' spot, I can never remember his name, but they just like that offense out there. So Foreman should definitely.
So
Yeah.
so these are his running backs. I would start. Oh, he has to put 2 running backs in there. He has to put 2 of them in there. So
Tank Dell is also fine.
I would put. He's gonna have to put, if these are his running backs, he's gonna have to put Gibbs and Foreman and running back 1, running back 2. I wouldn't start Mixon this week.
No.
He might Mixon will get one big play and then the Niners would change that up.
Mixon is a sit on a lot of fantasy things this week.
Yeah, put Tank Dell maybe in the flex.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he said bench Dermacado, Warren, and then Osborne from the wide receiver from KJ Osborne.
Yeah.
Well, look, you got to go Gibbs. I don't think what's his name's playing this week either. David Montgomery. So Gibbs.
No, he's
Gibbs
not
had
playing.
a field day last week. So,
yeah. Finally.
Yeah. That's who I would go with.
I was so happy too. I was like, it's about time. So I guess when Montgomery doesn't play, then Gibbs is fine. But when he does play, then go with Montgomery.
It's interesting because they happened earlier. Remember, Montgomery got hurt early in the season.
Yeah.
Maybe Gibbs just wasn't ready.
Right. It's possible.
Maybe he just wasn't ready. Guys, listen, if you started this lineup, then please let me know who you are so I can pay you to pick my picks and stuff. Because if you have this lineup, good God, look at these points, Peachy.
Kudos to anyone who had Lamar Jackson as one of their quarterbacks and started him because he killed it this week.
Yes, he did.
My goodness. Did. I mean, he was and I honestly didn't expect that because I didn't know that he was going to either make Detroit look like that or what was wrong with Detroit. But wow, he made the Lions look like the Lions that we're used to, though. It was bad. So kudos to anybody who had LJ and started him.
Any surprises on this perfect lineup?
The Bears defense.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they haven't really been.
Don't start them this week.
Right. Don't do it this week. But yeah, the Bears defense.
I mean, they're playing the Chargers.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't start the Bears defense this week. I think Addison would be my surprise because that's a big 31.3 points. The Niners gave up that explosive play.
So bad that we're responsible for that.
Yards and 6 points. That's 12 of the 31.
I know.
33 right there. 13 because you got to add in the catch.
Yes.
Right? And so he was just catching the ball. He got hurt, came back, and still caught the ball.
Yes.
But look, if you guys don't have Hopkins as your kicker, if you need a better kicker, maybe he's the kicker. Maybe he's a guy that you can, I'm not saying get rid of a Tyler Bass or a Tucker or whatever, but if you're still searching for a kicker, you play the waiver wire with the kicker, you might want to go with him. Here's the imperfect lineup. We were talking about which quarter. Jared Goff had his worst game.
Woo! Yes.
Calvin Ridley was trash.
Lordy. Yes.
Your boy Gabe
Hot
Davis.
Trash.
I knew not to start Cole Kmet. That is Justin Fields' guy. I told you that he was nobody. And then Justin Fields ignited him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so surprised. My surprise on this list is Austin Eckler. That is unacceptable.
Yep.
Unacceptable. And Calvin Ridley, he did have a catch and the refs cheated. I will say that.
Yes.
The refs cheated and it would have been for a nice gain and the refs cheated, said he was out of bounds. He was in bounds.
The refs are tripping a lot lately. Like it's crazy. And they are ruining some games. And that's, like basically where a game is very close. And you always say that you don't want the refs to, make decisions that are going to change the outcome of games. But that's what's going on right now. There's a lot of refs that are interfering in these games. And it's bad calls for one. And it's changing outlooks. And that sucks. On this list of imperfect lineup, mine is actually going to be, I'll just go with Jared Goff. He was horrible against Baltimore. And I know Baltimore
I told you that defense. I tried to tell y'all.
I know you did.
That's a defense.
But I still, was like, they turn this vaunted lions, and everything, and putting these lions up there, at the tip top and all
Made
this
them
other
look
stuff.
Like pussycats.
They look right. they look bad. I put that GIF out on Twitter under your thing. The baby lion cup.
They was like, how
that
Simba
was awful.
was like, and then who came in and roared for Simba? Mufasa. There's no Mufasas in that game.
So let's see whether Detroit can get back on track or not, because that was bad. Not to look at their defense, a -2.
Bro, they couldn't stop Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson is the only quarterback on the roster that I don't want to play this year as a 49er.
Right, that I fear. Definitely.
That's the one. He's the one.
Goodness.
He's the one. He's unfreaking predictable.
Yes.
He can have a bad week. He can have a throwing week. He can have a running week.
Right.
And thank you, Lamar Jackson, because finally you and Andrews finally got together and said, hey, let's get together and get back to where we were. Here's some trade opportunities for week 8 per NFL.com. Okay. They feel, you want to trade for players like Ramondre Stevenson, Jaylen Warren.
Forgot about Jaylen Warren.
Well, our guy, he has him on his bench, but we didn't. And then Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne is the only Patriot receiver that's getting love this year. Interesting.
The only one. They literally do not like Juju Smith-Schuster like at all. Like, they're like, that was the worst mistake that they made of the offseason.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but he's just not the same guy.
So the players to trade away are Tyler Lockett. I 100% agree with this. I've already done it in 2 of my leagues. He is gone. Foreman.
Interesting.
I don't know about this. This one makes me a little nervous because, like I said, I feel like that Foreman with Fields is different than Foreman with the quarterback that's out there. So I'm not sure about that one. And then Cortland Sutton, I wouldn't choose any wide receivers from Denver. Like, I would not put a Denver receiver anywhere in my starting lineup or even on my bench. I would just drop all of them. So if you can get someone who will trade for Cortland Sutton, good luck. But okay.
I don't think they're going to give him up. That's like the only thing that's going for the Denver Broncos. All right. Here's these waiver wire players we were talking about.
Kincaid.
And you talked about Dalton Kincaid with the injury to Dawson Knox. Hopefully this rookie can see get some love. Big target for Josh Allen. Allen can still scramble around. Probably just throw it up to this kid. Let him go get it.
Yes.
Darrell Henderson Jr., running back for the Rams. Kyron Williams is going to be out he got put on the IR, so for another 3 weeks.
That's right. Yep.
So this is the guy you might want to go pick up. Kyler Murray fully practiced today.
Yep. Kyler is on his way back.
If he is available, which I don't think he is in many.
I don't think he is in that many either, but I'm sure that people have him like on IR,
stashed away.
I got him stashed, like whatever.
100%.
We got a Kareem Hunt from the Browns. Definitely pick up Kareem Hunt. It looks like he's finally, back to, and got it. And
the only reason why you're going to pick up Kareem Hunt is because Jerome Ford got injured in the last game. And so it's him or Pierre Strong.
Yep. And then downs like me and Breezie were talking about. If you can find him on the waiver wire still,
He
go grab
still
him.
may be available. I feel like he's so underrated. He's a rookie, so he's so underrated that people don't realize he's out there putting up freaking
Yeah,
numbers.
he's balling. Yep.
Interesting. Listen, I say the best slide for last. You want to know why? Because it's my favorite position. It's the running backs.
Yep.
Per PFF through week 7, Christian McCaffrey, number 1.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's see who's on this list that we were currently talking about. All right, so you got number 2, Raheem Mostert, who's dealing with the injury.
Yep.
Travis Etienne, we told you
Etienne.
he's a must start. Kyra Williams is going to be out for the next 3 weeks, so possibly
He'll be dropping down that list.
Dropping down. Zach Moss is dealing with an injury, and the
We'll see what
resurgence
happens then.
the resurgence of Jonathan Taylor. So, you know, he can possibly fall. DeAndre Swift continues to be dominant for the Eagles. Kenneth Walker, I think, will be creeping up. I didn't think
Both
Isaiah
of those
Pacheco
guys will be creeping up.
I didn't think Isaiah Pacheco would be on this list, and
I didn't
he is
either.
on this list.
That's kind of a shock.
I didn't think they were going to run the ball well with him,
Right.
but I like it. Congratulations to the Chiefs.
Yep.
Devon Achane, number 9 with the Dolphins, who will be pushed down shortly after a couple more weeks because he's on the IR as well. And there's your boy Bijan Robinson holding on in that number 10 spot. This past week hurt him,
gripping
right?
on it like this. Right?
Well, it's because this past week hurt him, Peachy. You know,
Oh, it really did. Yeah.
some weird illness or whatnot, and unfortunately, it just Shout
did.
out to Jax Knox. He just gifted a membership. All right.
Thank you, Jack.
To 187. Welcome to the Breezy Bunch crew. We appreciate you, man. Welcome. All
Yep.
right. Make sure you take advantage of the cool perks, baby.
Yeah.
Hey,
Out there.
Peach, we about to dip up out of here because
Yep.
Celtics play in a few minutes. How we talked a little bit about fantasy basketball. What's the biggest difference between fantasy basketball management and NFL management as a fantasy owner?
The biggest difference between the two is that basketball, you have to monitor like daily. And with like every day, like for 7 days with football, you just have the one game a week. So all you have to do is just line up your players and let them go at it. But in basketball, you can play 3 times a week. You can play 4 times a week. You can play. So you really have to consistently monitor your squad. Not to mention that basketball has games that start like at different times. Like you can have games that start at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, that kind of stuff. So you definitely have to have a lot more maintenance with basketball than you have to with football.
Yeah, the maintenance is definitely real. With basketball, you just gotta be on it.
Yep.
You just gotta be on it. I'm sitting here trying to get my lineups together.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But you gotta be on it. Gotta pay attention to the injuries.
Yes.
And now they're starting to update things like James Harden went from Q to O, so he's probably not gonna play anytime soon. So that might have been a bad pick for me now.
They want him to rehab more back at the facility instead of worrying about playing. So I also think they're going to move him. So
I just need him to
I don't know
to
when.
get going.
Right.
So that means
You
that
need him to get started.
my teams will suffer until a couple of my players get back for a little while.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But I had a pretty good night last night. LeBron James came through for me, even though he lost. He had a fantastic night because AD decided that he wanted to go MIA in the second half. So whatever. But basketball is definitely like you really have to concentrate, and you have to a lot of fantasy basketball for that reason. I asked some people to finally the reason why they how much maintenance it is. They're like, nope, I just do football because I go in and I set my stuff and that's it. Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it.
Say so. Goes.
Set it and forget it. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to What's Your Fantasy. We'll be back next week, same time. We starting an hour early now because basketball season, the NBA season is officially on, and games officially start around 7 p.m.
7.
All right, so
Breezie, one quick thing real quick. It was funny. Christy wanted to know which quarterback are you going to start Madden for the Madden challenge?
I'm gonna start Brock until he's ruled out. You know, I do my Madden challenges. Tomorrow's Thursday, so tomorrow 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
We'll throw the Madden on, and we'll keep out Debo because he's been ruled out. Trent Williams hasn't played last week, so we're gonna go with the same starting lineup we had in real life last week. So I think that's what we'll do. Sounds good. I should put Sam Darnold in though. That's what I should do.
I think that's what she was leaning towards. She wanted to see what it was going to look like.
He wasn't ruled out. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think Brock plays this week. I'm just keeping it
I don't either.
But we love
y'all. I
y'all.
have an eerie feeling he's not playing.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. I know no Trent at practice, no Greenlaw at practice. You want me to leave him out too, though? Nah, he took a vet day. Trent's on some veteran stuff too. I don't expect Trent to play though. Like, listen, he didn't play last week. Don't expect him to play this week. But the Niners, they offensively they got to figure it out. They got to figure out what they need to do.
We sure do.
And they got to find a way to beat these Bengals. I'll leave it at that. We love y'all, man. Stay up, stay faithful, y'all. What's your fantasy? We'll see you next week, baby. Hey, look. Ruining dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure. The #1 team, let the world know what's your fantasy.